My journey into leadership started back in primary school. So in primary school, I was a prefect. That's when I was appointed, and that marked the start of my journey as a leader. And from primary school, then I went to high school. I attended the Sarai Boys Center in school, and there I was able to be chosen, or rather be appointed as a leader for many organizations and clubs in the school. To start with, I was a dorm captain in Form 3 and Form 4. Then in Form 4, I was appointed as the cross-country captain. And apart from the cross-country captain, where I used to be so much into the co-curricular activities in high school, such as drama and many other things, I went ahead and was also appointed as the leader for the Mass Club and the Red Cross Club of Kenya. So after high school, then came to the University of Nairobi. I have held different positions as a leader in different places. To start with, I'm a representative of the universities in an organization called SCAD. SCAD stands for the Students Campaign Against Drugs. This is a movement that tends to make awareness among the students against the use of drugs such as alcohol, tobacco, and other things. Actually, recently we were having campaign, or rather not even campaign. We are also driving policies in the Parliament of Kenya against the use of tobacco in the country, and also driving to make sure that there are impactful portraits, or rather images, on these drugs. So apart from that, I've also been a leader in a foundation that I formed with a friend of mine. It's called Clean Slate Foundation. So the Clean Slate Foundation is a movement, or rather is a foundation, a mentorship program that seeks to mentor the young people against things such as drugs, helping those people who are battling depression, and among other issues. So this is an organization that we are driving with a friend of mine called Isaac. It's still in the planning stage, but we are already registered the organization as an non-governmental organization, and we're also doing other things in the university. My tenure as a Secretary General for the Faculty of Built Environment started in March 2023. And the first thing that I can recall is the tedious process and campaign periods that we had student leaders, or rather aspiring student leaders. I won with a team that was called Team Genesis. My governor was Martin Ochieng. So I can say the first thing that we have to look at is the campaign process for the students who are aspiring to be leaders. It's surely very tedious, requires a lot of funding and a lot of resources, and a lot of mobilization time to get to win the hearts of the students. So for me, I would say that was one of the most challenging period as a student leader, or rather aspiring leader, because we had to walk to every classroom in our faculty, we had to walk to every hostel, every room. We had to convince people. There are people who are not willing to give us attention, others who are willing to give us attention. Funding was an issue because we had to spend over 100,000. But then the first thing to gather those funds, I would say that most of us, especially me, being a guy who really doesn't depend on anyone, I had to get to my pocket. I had to look for friends. I had to look for mentors. So I got funds, a lot of money by the way, from friends and the people that I look up to. So the first thing in my day, or rather my first priority, is architecture. Being a 6th year student and a final year student in architecture, I would say most of my day is usually spent on my laptop, doing my projects, pursuing this degree, pursuing this degree that I got myself into. So mostly I usually wake up at 4. For me, I wake up at 4. So from 4, of course, I say my prayers, then I get into my laptop, push my projects up to around 9. Most of the times at 9 we usually have our classes, our theory classes, then I go to class, then after that lunchtime, then afternoon class. So most of the activities that I used to take part in as a leader, most of them used to take place in the afternoon. Balancing academics and leadership. Because I remember well, I was summoned by the chairman of the department twice because of missing classes. But you see, there are programs, or rather, there are events and meetings that we have to meet with the vice chancellor, we have to meet with the dean, and that time we have our classes. And you know, architecture is one of the very much demanding courses. So you miss a day of class, another day, another day. By the time you are missing like 10 days, that's already a big workload that you've already accumulated for yourself. So balancing academics and leadership, I would say that is also another big challenge for me. Yeah. So I would say the virtues that I believe in as a leader, we have honesty and integrity, that we need to be people who are really accountable, people who really use the small resources, or rather the resources that we are trusted by the institution that people lead in, the country that people lead in, the government that people lead in. We need to make sure that we are really accountable for even every point that we are given to handle. Then the other thing also is the service. We need people who are willing to serve the people without any paybacks, without any, investment or stuff. We need to be people who are really driven to serve the people that we are given that chance, or rather opportunity to lead. So those are some of the leadership virtues that I think should follow. And also, I believe in transformative leadership. Personally, in Kenya, I've seen leaders who are trying, but majority of the leaders, they are not really doing what they are supposed to do. There are a few leaders, the likes of Bobino, those are the branches, some of the most performing MPs. But personally, there is one leader that I really follow and read their history. It's called League One. League One is the founding father for Singapore. You know, this is a guy who was given a country to lead. That was a third world country. And within a few years, it's already one of the best countries. Actually, I think Singapore number 3 or number 5, not very sure, but among the top 10 best performing country in terms of economy and productivity, and even simple things such as the life expectancy. These countries, the way they are very green, the green initiatives that are in this country, that the building codes that you cannot build this way, you cannot build this way. But in Kenya, there are many people are driven by greed. So you find that there are no very sober policies in the country. So as a leader, or I would believe, or rather follow the footsteps of such people who are future oriented, people who will lead the country, and they make sure that the policies that they come up with, their policies not that policies that will not just give them something at the table, or rather give them some money, but their policies that will drive the country, policies that will drive the economy, policies that even in 50 years to come, they will make the people of that country to thrive. There is hope for the UNSA, because even for my own faculty, the current governor was my junior in our term. Because I was serving as the Secretary General, and this guy was serving as a sports and welfare rep. So, he received a lot of mentorship for you to perform well in UNSA. Even if you look at the history of those people who have done well in UNSA, you realize that most of them did well when they served their second or the third term. So I think there is future, there is hope, uh, provided we elect good leaders. So when that moment comes when we are supposed to elect, I think we need to look for virtues in these people. Let's not just look for, this guy looks this way, this team has very beautiful ladies, so we are going to elect them. This team has, some handsome guy or some tall or whatever. Those are some of the things that people look when they are choosing leaders in the university, and people with money. But we need to see the people and what people carry. Like in my faculty, the current governor is Joshua Kotonyo, and he's a good guy. If you are going to look at what is happening in the university, you find is one of the very vocal leaders that we have right now. So I think he received enough mentorship during our time. And I would also add, I don't know whether the university calendar, or not the university calendar, the university, the UNSA constitution, if it can allow people to go for even 3 terms, that will be better. Because you know, in the first term, you get there, you are confused. By the time you get to understand things, it's already 1 year, it's over. You are not supposed to run again. But if you allow these people to run even a maximum of 3 times, I'm not one guy who's very much in philosophy, but as we conclude this, I would like to leave you with a phrase that says that when the ocean tide sees, those who are swimming naked will be exposed. So this one is for those guys who are doing things illegally. These people do not have the integrity values that at the end of the day, you do a lot of that, a lot of that in your politics, in your leadership, you're interested with this, but you do not do it. But at the end of the day, you'll be exposed. The ocean tides will cease, and whatever you are doing behind the curtains will be exposed. So this one is to people who are serving somewhere out there. Just do what people gave you the responsibility to do. Which I would say is a major one is